there, and welcome to the Retirement Wealth Podcast. Today, we're diving into a topic that's super important for couples planning their retirement: how spousal Social Security benefits work.
That's right, Emily. Many folks don't realize just how crucial these benefits can be for their overall retirement strategy.
Exactly. It's all about maximizing what you've earned together, and understanding the ins and outs can really make a difference.
Absolutely. And we'll explore things like eligibility, how benefits are calculated, and some strategies to help you both get the most out of Social Security.
Plus, we'll touch on common misconceptions that can lead to missed opportunities. You know, it's easy to overlook these details when you're focused on the big picture.
For sure. And we want to make sure our listeners have all the information they need to make informed decisions for their future.
So whether you're just starting your retirement planning or you're already enjoying those golden years, there's something here for everyone.
Right, and it's never too late to learn about how these benefits work and how they can impact your financial security.
Let's get started and help our listeners understand how they can navigate these benefits effectively.
Sounds great. So let's begin with the basics of eligibility and what couples should know. You know, Emily, the reason understanding spousal Social Security benefits is so critical right now really comes down to a few key factors that are affecting so many retirees and those planning to retire soon.
Right? I mean, with everything going on in the economy, it's like we're in a bit of a perfect storm, huh?
Exactly. Take inflation, for example. It's been rising steadily, and that can really eat into fixed incomes. If you're relying primarily on Social Security, then understanding how spousal benefits work could mean the difference between financial comfort and financial strain.
Yeah, I can see how that would be super important. I mean, a lot of folks might not realize that these benefits can actually help offset some of those rising costs.
Absolutely. And consider market volatility, too. The stock market can be quite unpredictable these days. A lot of people are worried about their investment portfolios. And if you've built your retirement plan primarily on those investments, a downturn can really shake your confidence.
Right, and that's where having a solid understanding of Social Security benefits can provide a bit of a safety net.
Exactly. For instance, I was working with a couple recently, say, Jim and Linda. They're both in their early 60s, and they were heavily invested in stocks. When the market dipped this year, they felt a real pinch. They started to reconsider their withdrawal strategies and realized that they hadn't factored in how spousal benefits could ease their financial stress during this time.
That sounds like a smart realization. So how did they approach it?
Well, after we talked, they discovered that Linda could claim spousal benefits, which would allow Jim to delay his benefits a bit longer. This way, he could maximize his Social Security payout later on while still providing some income. It was a great way to leverage the system to their advantage.
That's a perfect example. I think a lot of couples don't realize they can strategize this way.
Exactly. And let's not forget about tax efficiency, especially in today's climate. Many retirees are concerned about their tax liabilities. Combining spousal benefits with other income sources can provide a more tax-efficient withdrawal strategy, helping to stretch retirement savings further.
That's so true. I've read that with the changes in tax law and the current economic situation, it's more important than ever to plan for that.
Right. And then there's the healthcare costs. They seem to rise every year, don't they?
Tell me about it. I mean, it's like a ticking time bomb for many retirees.
It really is. Many people don't realize how Medicare works with Social Security and the potential costs that come with healthcare and retirement. A well-planned strategy around spousal benefits can help ensure that both partners are covered and can manage those rising expenses without panic.
That's such a comforting thought. So it's not just about Social Security checks, it's about overall financial health, right?
Exactly. And then there's the emotional side of it all. Financial security in retirement can bring peace of mind, and that's invaluable. For many couples, knowing there's a plan in place can significantly reduce anxiety about the future.
Yeah, I can imagine. It must be such a relief to have a solid strategy.
It really is. I recall another couple, say, Tom and Rachel. They were so stressed about their retirement plans, constantly worrying about whether they had saved enough. Once we laid out their Social Security options, they felt a huge weight lift off their shoulders. They could see a more secure future ahead, and it boosted their confidence.
That's fantastic. It really makes a difference when you have clarity, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And let's not forget legacy planning. Many people want to leave something behind for their children or grandchildren. Understanding how spousal benefits work can play a critical role in that legacy. It can help ensure that their loved ones are taken care of, even after they're gone.
That's such an important point. I think many people want to ensure their family is financially secure in the long run, and Social Security plays a part in that equation too.
It definitely does. And with the current economic trends and discussions about potential changes to Social Security in the future, being proactive now is more crucial than ever.
Right. It sounds like there's so much to consider, and it's really about being informed and making those choices that align with your goals and values.
Exactly, Emily. It's all about strategy and understanding the options available.
So it seems we're about to dive into some core strategies that folks can use to maximize their benefit.
Yes, and I can't wait to share those insights. They're really designed to empower listeners and help them take control of their retirement planning. So, Emily, when we talk about spousal Social Security benefits, one of the key strategies is understanding how benefits can be maximized, right?
Absolutely. And it's not just about what you or your spouse earned individually. It's about the combination of those benefits.
Exactly. For instance, if one spouse has a significantly higher earning history, the other spouse can receive up to half of that higher earner's benefit. That's a huge advantage.
Right, and that's especially relevant if one partner takes time off work to raise kids or care for family. They may have lower earnings, which could impact their Social Security down the line.
And remember, there's that age factor too. If you claim benefits before your full retirement age, which is somewhere between 66 and 67, depending on when you were born, your benefits can be reduced.
Yeah, that reduction can be pretty significant. If someone claims at 62, they could lose up to 30% of their benefit.
Exactly, so it's crucial to consider when to start taking those benefits. Delaying can increase your monthly payout, up to age 70.
And that's an important point. The longer you wait, the more you'll receive. So, for example, if your full retirement age benefit is $2,000, waiting until 70 could bump that up to about $2, $640. That's a nice increase.
It really is. And let's not forget about spousal benefits. If one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse can switch to the higher benefit. This is where planning becomes so important.
Yeah, it's like creating a safety net. If one spouse has a higher benefit, the other can benefit from that in the long run.
Exactly. And speaking of planning, let's talk about how Social Security fits into the bigger picture of retirement income.
Right, because Social Security is just one piece of the puzzle. You also have retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs.
Yes, with 401ks, remember that they're often pre-tax, which means you'll pay taxes on that money when you withdraw it.
And with IRAs, you have traditional versus Roth options. Traditional IRAs also give you that tax break up front, while Roth IRAs let you withdraw tax-free in retirement.
Right, and that's key. If you think you'll be in a higher tax bracket in retirement, a Roth IRA could be very appealing, but it depends on your situation.
Exactly. And let's not forget diversification. It's crucial to have a mix of stocks, bonds, and other investments. A common rule of thumb is to have a 70-30th portfolio, right?
Yes, the 70-30th rule suggests you might want 70% in stocks for growth and 30% in bonds for stability. But you need to adjust that based on your risk tolerance and time horizon.
So true. And as you get closer to retirement, you might want to shift that allocation to be more conservative, maybe 60-40ths or even 50-50.
Absolutely. And then there's the withdrawal strategy to consider. The 4% rule is a popular guideline for how much to withdraw annually from your retirement savings.
Right, so if you have $1 million saved, 4% would be $40,000 a year. But you have to factor in your Social Security benefits and other income sources too.
Exactly. And that's where the bucket strategy can come into play. You create different buckets for your money. One for short-term needs, one for mid-term, and one for long-term growth.
That makes total sense. So your short-term bucket could be more conservative, perhaps cash or bonds, while your long-term bucket could be more aggressive with stocks.
Yes, and it provides a systematic way to withdraw from your accounts without worrying about market fluctuations. It's like having a plan for each stage of your retirement.
And don't forget about tax savings techniques. tax loss harvesting can help offset capital gains, and being strategic about withdrawals can minimize your tax burden.
Exactly, especially with required minimum distributions, or RMDs, kicking in at age 73. You need to plan for that so it doesn't push you into a higher tax bracket.
Yeah, and if you're not careful, you could end up paying more taxes than necessary, which no one wants, right?
Definitely. And also, it's important to keep an eye on how your overall asset allocation affects your tax situation, too.
Right, if you have investments in a taxable account versus a tax-advantaged account, it can make a big difference in your tax liability.
And then there's the real estate aspect. Many retirees downsize or relocate. That can free up capital and reduce ongoing maintenance costs.
Yes, and selling a primary residence can also have tax advantages, like the capital gains exclusion if you've lived there for 2 of the last 5 years.
Very true. So as we wrap up this section, it's important to have a holistic view, balancing Social Security, retirement accounts, investments, real estate, and tax strategies.
Absolutely. And making sure you're set up for a sustainable retirement income. It all ties together.
And now, let's talk about some common pitfalls. Because even with a solid plan, there are mistakes that can trip people up. You know, Emily, one of the big pitfalls I see with couples planning for retirement is really understanding how spousal Social Security benefits work. It's not just about claiming your own benefit, it's about maximizing the combined benefits.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people assume they'll just figure it out when the time comes. But that can lead to missed opportunities, right?
Exactly. I had a couple come to me recently. They were in their late 60s and had just claimed their Social Security benefits. The husband claimed early, thinking he'd get a steady income right away. But he didn't realize that by doing so, they were leaving a lot of money on the table in terms of the spousal benefit.
Oh, wow. So what happened there?
Well, they were both eligible for spousal benefits. But since he claimed early, it reduced the amount she could claim as well. They didn't fully understand that her benefit could have been higher if he had waited, and it ended up affecting their long-term financial health.
That's a tough lesson to learn. I can see how important it is to educate yourself about the options available. What other common mistakes do you see?
Another one is not factoring in taxes when planning withdrawals from retirement accounts. Many people think their retirement income will be taxed the same way it was during their working years, but that's not always the case.
Right, because a lot of retirees rely on a mix of income sources, pensions, Social Security, and withdrawals from tax-deferred accounts like IRAs or 401ks.
Exactly. I remember a client who was surprised when their tax bill came in. They had planned to withdraw a certain amount to cover their expenses, but didn't consider how those withdrawals would push them into a higher tax bracket.
Oof, that's a scary realization.
It really is. And taxes can eat into your retirement income significantly if you're not careful. It's crucial to have a tax strategy in place and to look at how different income sources will be taxed differently.
So what should people keep in mind when it comes to taxes and withdrawals?
Well, first, it's important to have a clear understanding of your tax situation and to possibly work with a tax advisor who can help you strategize. Also, consider withdrawing from taxable accounts first to manage your tax bracket effectively.
That makes a lot of sense. What about healthcare costs? I feel like that's another area where people underestimate expenses.
Definitely. Healthcare costs can be a major shock in retirement. Many people don't realize that Medicare doesn't cover everything, and out-of-pocket expenses can pile up quickly.
I've heard that healthcare can be one of the biggest expenses in retirement. How do you think people can prepare for that?
Well, a good rule of thumb is to plan for healthcare costs to be around 15 to 20% of your retirement budget. And don't forget about long-term care, which can be a huge expense that isn't covered by Medicare.
Right, and planning for that can feel overwhelming. Are there any real-life examples you can share about how people have handled this?
Sure. I had a client who thought they were in great shape. They were healthy, had a good nest egg, and planned on traveling a lot. But then, unexpectedly, one spouse fell ill, and suddenly their healthcare costs skyrocketed. They'd never accounted for that in their budget.
That must have been tough for them.
They had to make some tough decisions about their lifestyle and spending. It served as a wake-up call about the importance of having a long-term care plan, even if you're healthy now.
That's such an important reminder. It's definitely not something anyone wants to think about, but planning ahead can make a big difference.
Exactly. And speaking of planning, another common mistake I see is poor asset allocation. A lot of retirees hold on to the same investment strategy they had in their working years, without considering the shift in risk and time horizon.
That's true, and it can lead to unnecessary risk as they approach or enter retirement.
Yes, I had a couple who was still heavily invested in high-growth stocks, thinking they'd ride the market wave. But with market volatility, they were facing significant losses in a time when they really needed stability.
That sounds stressful. So what's the solution here?
The solution is to reevaluate your portfolio as you approach retirement. Focus on a more balanced approach with a mix of safe and growth-oriented investments. It's about protecting what you've built while still allowing for some growth.
I love that. Finding that balance is key. And what about the timing of claiming Social Security benefits? I know that's a big decision for many.
Oh, for sure. Claiming Social Security too early can be a costly mistake. Many retirees don't realize that the longer you wait to claim, the more your benefit grows.
Right. And I think there's a lot of pressure to claim early, especially when you're unsure about your financial future.
Exactly. I had a client who claimed at 62 because they thought they might need the income, but they didn't account for the fact that their benefit would be 25% lower than if they had waited until full retirement age.
That's a significant difference.
It really is. The key is to have a solid understanding of your retirement needs and to not rush into decisions. Take the time to explore all your options.
So if someone spots these red flags early on, what can they do to recover or avoid these pitfalls?
Well, the first step is to educate yourself. Seek out resources, talk to a financial advisor, and consider attending workshops.
Great advice.
And regularly review your financial plan. Adjust it as needed to reflect changes in your life circumstances, tax laws, and market conditions.
That makes so much sense. Staying proactive can help you avoid a lot of these issues.
Absolutely. It's all about being informed and prepared.
Well, this has been a really enlightening conversation. Thank you for sharing these insights, David.
My pleasure, Emily. It's always good to help folks navigate these important decisions. So let's get into some immediate steps folks can take today to really make the most of their spousal Social Security benefits.
Absolutely, David. I think one of the first things they should do is check their benefits on the Social Security Administration's website, right?
Exactly. Visiting SSA.gov is a great starting point. You can create your account, and that'll give you access to your earnings record and estimated benefits. It's eye-opening to see those numbers.
Yeah, and it helps clarify how your benefits will change based on when you decide to start taking them.
Right. And while you're there, it's also a good idea to explore the spousal benefits section. There's a lot of valuable information on how your benefits can be affected by your spouse's earnings record.
For sure. And if anyone's feeling a bit confused, using a retirement calculator can really help. Vanguard, Fidelity, and Schwab all have great tools that can simulate different scenarios.
Those calculators can give you projections based on various starting ages and strategies. It's a solid way to visualize how your decisions now can impact your future.
And speaking of tools, don't forget about tax software. Understanding how your Social Security benefits will be taxed is crucial. Many people don't realize that up to 85% of those benefits can be taxable, depending on your total income.
Exactly. So using something like TurboTax or H&R Block can help you get a clearer picture of your tax situation as you approach retirement.
And what about financial planning apps? I've heard a lot of people are finding them really helpful for budgeting and tracking expenses.
Yes. Apps like Mint or Personal Capital can help keep your financial picture organized. You can set retirement goals and track your spending habits, which is vital for making informed decisions.
And those habits can be super helpful to develop now, like reviewing your portfolio quarterly, right?
Definitely. Taking a regular look at your investments ensures you're on track. It also gives you a chance to adjust your strategy as needed, especially as you approach retirement.
Right, and running retirement projections periodically can be really beneficial too. It helps you see how changes in your income, expenses, or investments will affect your retirement savings.
Exactly. Just a simple check-in every few months can give you peace of mind. And speaking of peace of mind, reading up on retirement planning can also provide great insights.
Oh, for sure. There are fantastic books out there, like The Boglehead's Guide to Retirement Planning. It has a lot of practical advice.
And How to Retire Happy, Wild, and Free by Ernie J. Zielinski is another great read. It emphasizes not just the financial side, but the lifestyle aspect of retirement too.
Those sound really helpful, and there are some good podcasts out there focused on retirement planning, right?
Absolutely. Retire with Purpose and The Retirement Answer Man are both excellent resources. They cover a range of topics and often have expert guests.
It's nice to have those audio resources, especially for people who are always on the go. You can listen while you're doing chores or commuting.
Exactly, and it keeps you informed without taking too much time out of your day.
And speaking of time, I think it's important to remind listeners that it's never too late to improve your retirement plan, right?
Absolutely, Emily. Whether you're just starting to plan or you're already in retirement, small changes can still make a big impact.
So if someone has been putting off their planning or feels overwhelmed, just taking one step at a time can really help ease that burden.
Definitely. Just starting with a simple checklist can make things feel more manageable. Write down what you need to do and tackle it piece by piece.
That sounds so doable, and it can really change the way you feel about your retirement journey.
Right. So those are some practical first steps. Now, let's bring this all together. Well, as we wrap up today's discussion, let's quickly recap some of the key takeaways about spousal Social Security benefits.
Absolutely, David. First off, it's important to remember that spousal benefits can be a game changer, right? They can help ensure that both partners have financial security in retirement.
Exactly. And, the age at which you start taking your benefits can really impact the total amount you receive. Delaying can lead to a bigger payout, which is something to consider for couples.
Right. And don't forget about the importance of coordinating benefits. It's not just about one person's retirement plan, but how both partners can maximize their benefits together.
And let's not overlook the fact that if one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse can inherit the higher benefit, which is crucial for long-term planning.
Yes, it really highlights the need for couples to have open conversations about their retirement strategies. Communication is key.
Definitely. So as you think about building and protecting your retirement wealth, remember that planning together can lead to a much brighter financial future.
Yeah, and if you found today's episode helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your biggest takeaway or any questions you might have. We love hearing from you.
And share this episode with someone you know who's planning for retirement or is already in it. It can really make a difference in their journey.
For sure. And just a heads up, next time we'll be diving into the Coast Fire strategy. It's a fascinating approach, and I think you'll find it really enlightening.
Absolutely. I can't wait for that discussion.
Until then, take care, everyone.
Bye for now.